Okay, so welcome to Chapter 5 of Visualizing Technology. This chapter discusses operating systems and disk utility software. So our objectives are to explain what an operating system does, look at different desktop operating systems, configure a desktop operating system, compare specialized operating systems, compare the most common network operating systems, and finally list and explain important utility software. So there's two basic types of software that your computer uses: application software and system software. Application software is the software you use to do everyday tasks. System software is the set of programs that helps run the computer and coordinates instructions between application software and the computer's hardware devices. And this is the type of software that we are going to focus on today. Okay, so let's talk about what an operating system does, how it manages and controls hardware, and interacts with software. So the operating system, often called the OS, is the most important type of system software because it provides the user with the interface to communicate with hardware and other software on the computer, and it also manages system resources, which is very important. A computer can't run without an operating system installed. Okay, so system software consists of two primary types: the operating system and utility programs. Okay. The operating system, or the OS, is a group of programs that controls how your computer system functions. It does the following: it manages the computer's hardware and peripheral devices. It provides a consistent means for application software to work with the central processing unit, or your CPU. It's responsible for the management, scheduling, and coordination of tasks. Okay. And we interact with our operating systems through something called the user interface, or a UI. Okay, and that would be like the desktop, the icons, and the menus. The second type of system software is a utility program, which is just a small program that performs a lot of different general housekeeping tasks for your computer. Okay. So, just to sort of review, modern operating systems have something called a user interface, or a graphical user interface. Okay, if you see GUI right here, okay, that stands for graphical user interface, or GUI, we may call it. And what that does is it uses point and click technology. Okay, in other words, you use your mouse or your touchpad or whatever, and you point at what you want it to do, and you click, and it does it. Okay. The operating system manages the allocation of resources to hardware and to software. Today's operating systems control many peripheral devices and communicate with hardware through device drivers. The plug-and-play feature allows you to easily add peripherals to your machine. And then the API, which stands for Application Programming Interface, lets applications request services, such as a request to print or save a file from the operating system. So, modern operating systems allow a single user to multitask. We're always doing more than one thing on our computer. Okay. So thanks to our operating system, we're able to do that. All right. Operating systems such as Windows and Mac OS provide networking capabilities as well, so essentially making them multi-user, multitasking operating systems. Operating systems can be categorized by the type of device on which they're installed, such as robots and specialized equipment with built-in computers, network computers, mobile devices, and personal computers. Excuse me. I have a nice summer cold. So every single computer has an operating system. Okay, your smartphone, your game consoles, your car, if you have a newer car, some appliances even have operating systems. The role of that OS is critical. The computer can't operate without it. Laptops, tablets, smartphones, these all need specific operating systems that are designed to take advantage of their unique characteristics. As these devices begin to converge in terms of functionality, and operating systems continue to become more powerful, developers like Microsoft and Apple are making operating systems that have similar functionality. So, such as like Mac OS and iOS, okay? Or they're making single operating systems like Windows 10 that can run on multiple devices. So it runs on your tablet, it also can run on, if you have a Windows phone, also can run on your PC. Okay. Machinery that performs a repetitive series of specific tasks in an exact amount of time requires a real-time operating system, or an RTOS. Okay, real-time operating systems require really minimal user interaction. Okay, so this type of operating system is a program with a specific purpose, and it has to guarantee certain response times for these particular computing tasks that it's doing. Devices that must perform regimented tasks or record precise results, things like machines that are taking measurements, okay, things that are found like in the scientific and aerospace industries, those require real-time operating systems. Those have to have precise results, right? You're also going to see these real-time operating systems in devices like fuel injection systems in your car engine, and also some common appliances. Okay, so you might hear about the term embedded systems. This is referring to this type of stuff as well. Okay, RTOSs are actually a subset of embedded systems. And an embedded system is just defined as a single function product where the intelligence is actually embedded in the system. So that could be anything from a dishwasher to a hearing aid, a pacemaker, okay, ATM, your cable box, all different types of things like that. All right, so let's look at some different operating systems. Microsoft Windows, Mac OS, and Linux are the top 3 operating systems for personal computers. So although they share similar features, each one is unique. Okay. Microsoft Windows is an operating environment that incorporates a user-friendly visual interface like the one that was first introduced with Apple's operating system. Microsoft's operating system Windows 8 included a new interface optimized for touchscreens. Okay. Windows 8.1 had been the latest release available, and then Microsoft started deploying Windows 10 for free in July of 2015. Apparently they wanted to distance themselves so far from Windows 8 that they completely skipped over Windows 9 and went straight on to 10. Okay, so here's a little timeline for you from Windows. Okay, Windows is the most common desktop operating system. About 90% of PCs are running some version of Windows. Versions from 1985 to the present are shown on this slide. Excuse me. So fun facts for you. Windows 95, that introduced plug and play, enhanced support for CD-ROMs, and one of my favorites, the right mouse click. Windows 98 included Internet Explorer for the very first time. Windows XP introduced a new interface, automatic updates, easier networking and internet connectivity, and increased reliability. And just as a little interesting note, if you've heard in the news about the WannaCry ransomware, it was able to pretty much infiltrate the NHS computers, the National Health System computers, because they're all running Windows XP. Okay, this is 2017, yet those computers are all running Windows XP, which actually no longer even receives update support from Microsoft. So, of course, they're extremely vulnerable machines. Okay, just interesting side note for you. Let's see, Windows Vista, that introduced another new interface, as well as accessibility features. Windows 7, my all-time favorite, included a redesigned taskbar and some new ways in which to manipulate Windows. Windows 8 introduced a totally new interface with a start screen with these live tiles instead of the start menu. And so that was the big problem for a lot of people. People wanted that start menu. They didn't like these live tiles flashing on and off and looking all fancy and weird. They wanted their good old start menu. And so Windows 10 actually brought back the start button, which had been removed for Windows 8. And like I said, infuriated a lot of people. Windows 10 was free for a year if you had Windows 7 and up. Okay. Right now, my computer's trying to push a new update on me. I'm not sure if it's a 10.1 or if they're going to actually change the name or anything. It's supposed to be a lot more robust. So that's for now, May 2017. Okay. If you really want to get Windows 10 for free, there are ways around it. It's free still for assistive technology users, so it's up to you, use your moral compass. And again, Windows 10 also includes Cortana amongst other new details. Okay. So you may have seen Cortana on your machine. Windows 10 brought up a lot of privacy issues when it was released. Okay, by default, Windows 10 gives itself the right to pass all kinds of your personal data onto Microsoft servers. By default, it's set up to use your bandwidth for Microsoft's own purposes. And again, by default, it's set up to profile your Windows usage. Okay. Microsoft's Siri imitating Cortana is a personal assistant, and its new Edge browser are designed to take advantage of as much personal information as possible to customize, and I'm saying this in quotes here, your user experience, take annotations, and to learn all about you. Until Microsoft clarifies these privacy policies, I recommend against using Edge or Cortana. Stick with Firefox or Chrome as a browser, or use a Tor browser, or even Internet Explorer is better than Edge. Okay, so I could go on and on about Cortana. I may talk about it a little bit more when we start the next section, since I'm out of time on this one.